Backchat TV. Subscribe.
He has also talked about it. That left hook is so good, and it's so long and so precise and so hard, but
What's going on, boxing fans? I'm back with another one. It's been a little while actually since I've made a video. I've been away for a bit, but I'm back now. I literally just finished watching the Anthony Joshua Helenius fight literally about 30 minutes ago, 40 minutes ago. So my idea of the fight in general is quite fresh. I'm not sure, I haven't really had an opportunity to actually review it properly and, you know, have a look at it. So it's just going to be a very quick review of the fight. Not even really the fight, but just the performance and what it means for the next fight, which is what a lot of people are thinking about. Obviously, we're anticipating the Deontay Wilder Anthony Joshua clash. Before this fight, we wasn't sure what was going to happen. It was supposed to be Dillian Whyte and Anthony Joshua. Dillian Whyte obviously has his issues going on with his doping scandal. I don't even know if he's guilty or not, but you know, if you've had an adverse finding 3 times in your career, it's very unlikely that you can be innocent 3 times. So, you know, I'll reserve judgment for now. But yeah, Anthony Joshua, his performance, he finished the fight in the 7th round by knockout, so you can't ask for better than that. I've heard some people say that this is not comparable to Deontay Wilder, who finished Helenius in the 1st round. And yeah, this is true also, but they do have different styles. Anthony Joshua is working with Derek James, and there's a lot to learn. Obviously, he was quite tentative when he fought against Franklin. Very tentative, overly tentative. And we saw a little bit of that tentativeness again in the fight with Helenius, but he was a little bit more dominant this time. He was pressing forward, slipping, throwing the right hand. He was throwing hard shots. He was stalking Helenius, and he was looking for the shot that actually landed in the 7th round. He was looking for that shot from the early rounds, and that's a good sign. The fact that, you know, he's got a game plan in his head. He's looking for the shot. He was trying to create angles. He was trying to slip the jab and come up with the right hand, and Helenius was actually making some adjustments, and he's quite tricky in there. So he was kind of just turning every now and then, and Joshua couldn't quite get the angle. So Joshua started throwing the shot to the body, maybe like a double jab to the body, and then following up with the right hand. The main reason was because Joshua was kind of finding it difficult to close the gap. So when he was trying to find that right hand straight away, you know, Helenius would just back off just a little bit too much and come out of range, and he was also waiting to counter as well. So Joshua eventually, you know, threw that shot to the body, and then threw a shot over, a hook over, and caught Helenius just basically moving back. And now Helenius saw the shot, but it was a little bit too late, and he was against the ropes. Maybe he wasn't against the ropes, he may just have escaped that shot, but where he was against the ropes, I think maybe that's why it just caught him. Either way, very well timed shot, a great knockout, just as good as Deontay Wilder's knockout. So I wouldn't read too much into the fact that Deontay Wilder did it 6 rounds earlier. Joshua obviously is still working on things with Derek James. You can see he's developing a different style, or I should say he's adding a different style to his initial way of fighting, and you can see it in things that he's doing and the way that he's moving. So it does take time to adapt, but one thing I have to say, I have to give Anthony Joshua a lot of credit for coming back after those back-to-back losses against Usyk, coming back with a new kind of a vigor for the fight, and he wants to fight. He wants to win his belt back. He's planning to fight Wilder, and then if he wins, he's going to call out, you know, Fury, and then, you know, he's looking for those top fights. He's not stalling or darking anyone, and that's all you can ask of a fighter, you know. So I like Anthony Joshua. I might be a bit biased, but I think he's a stand-up guy. I think since the beginning of his career, he's always tried to fight the best. I don't think he's ducked anyone. I know there was talk that maybe he ducked Wilder, but then the opposite is said of Wilder also. So who knows? It's probably much more to do with their teams, their promotional teams, why they didn't meet earlier. But it looks as if we've got a fight on our hands with Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua. You know, Deontay Wilder won his last fight in impressive fashion against the same opponent. Anthony Joshua has won his fight in impressive fashion. Now, the detractors will say that Helenius clearly wasn't ready for this fight because he had a fight just a little while ago. He didn't get to have a full training camp. He was a replacement fighter because of Dillian Whyte. What do you expect to happen? And in all honesty, you know, this is a fair criticism. You know, it's a fair complaint. Everybody has at least an 8-week training camp, and especially against a former world champion, it's very unlikely you can just come in there just because, you know, the fight that you won before was a short fight and you've had a training camp from before. You actually need a tailor-made training camp. Tailor-made if you're going to fight a former world champion. You know, there's no other way to do it. It's not like you can just say, well, I'm fit and healthy, let me go in the ring. You know, that was never going to be good enough to beat Anthony Joshua. But I completely understand why Helenius did it. You know, it's your one and only shot. It's very difficult to get a shot against a top name. The payday has a lot to do with it. And if you've just come off a fight where, you know, you had a good victory, it's actually perfect to go into another top fight. You know, you get another good payday. You're also fit because you've just come out of a training camp. The downside is that you haven't maybe had enough rest, and you also haven't tailor-made your strategy against your opponent. That's the downside, and I can see why he gambled. If I was in his position, I'd gamble as well. I'd gamble. It didn't pay off on this occasion for Helenius. You know, he fought well. He was tricky in there, and he was looking for that shot. And another thing that was quite dangerous about Helenius is that he hits quite hard. He hits a lot harder than I think people think, and he was looking for those, you know, those openings. He was looking for those openings to land those hard shots. If you look at Anthony Joshua's face, you know, when Helenius caught him with a few jabs and stuff, you know, he started getting busted up quite quickly because Helenius does punch hard. And Joshua doesn't have the best defense. He said it himself. He said that his old trainer didn't really teach him defense that much. And, you know, he wanted to tighten up his defense. That's why he's working with Derek James. And we're seeing some of those flaws now. And this is showing, you know, a little bit of, where Joshua was kind of getting hit. For the most part, Joshua had good defense, good tight guard, and he didn't take too much punishment, obviously. But I'm more looking ahead to Deontay Wilder. You know, you can't afford to take those shots against Deontay Wilder because it only takes one shot with him, and it's lights out. You know, so I'm really not sure. You know, I like Anthony Joshua. Obviously, I'm a Brit. I'm fully behind Anthony Joshua. But if I'm honest, I still see Wilder just landing that shot. You know, that's what he does. You know, you have to have something elusive about you to have a chance against Wilder. Like if Joshua had a little bit of an elusiveness, quick feet, he can go in and out and he can move kind of like a Tyson Fury. With the same punching power that he has, I would give Anthony Joshua the edge, you know, but because he's not that elusive and he does get hit, getting hit by Wilder is completely different than getting hit by anyone else. So I still see Wilder coming away with a knockout win against Joshua. Paper, so far is competitive, and that's what we want. It was a good performance by Joshua today, which made people now excited about the Joshua Deontay Wilder fight, and that's a good thing, because if Joshua would have gone, 12 rounds with Helenius and won a decision, people wouldn't be that excited about the Wilder fight. They would be like, Wilder's just a lot better. Wilder knocked out this guy in the first round, and Joshua's going a decision with Franklin and Hellenius. And he's got back-to-back losses against Usyk, and he's got a knockout loss to Andy Louise, and you know, it would have been like, oh, we don't really need to see this fight. But Joshua's got back a lot of respect in this fight, and now people are unsure about who's going to win, and that's exactly what you want. Like I said, I can't say for sure who's going to win, but I feel like Deontay Wilder is a better fighter. I feel like he's faster, and ultimately he's not scared to let his hands go, and that's going to be the difference. Having said all that, Anthony Joshua looked impressive. Let me know what you think, guys. What did you think of the fight? What do you think of his strategy? Is a performance like that going to be enough to beat Deontay Wilder? Let me know. I'm on to the next one. Once again, guys, if you enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know in the comment section your thoughts. Thank you.